Superman Batman versus the DC Universe. For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Dorian. This is SEM Comics, and we are covering the complete Batman Superman World Finest series. For those of you who need to catch up on the first two episodes, the playlist is going to be in the description. Now, let's get into Superman Batman number 3. So Lex Luthor, the President of the United States in this series, issued a $1 billion bounty on Superman's head to bring him in dead or alive. And Superman is headed to DC to confront Lex Luthor. Batman obviously is in a bad jet. Superman's doing the Superman thing. Batman wants to check the comm leaks, and Superman's actually getting a little irritated. He's like, look, it works. It worked in Gotham City. It worked. He was trying to save Pennsylvania when a sonic blast hits him out of the sky. So at the same time, we also see Lois Lane is actually giving an interview to President Luthor. So on the next page, we see that the sonic blast actually came from Silver Banshee, and she hits Batman with it and knocks him out the sky. So then we turn to the next page, and we see that Banshee is kind of giving the business to Superman. I mean, she's pretty much giving him all he wants. Now we also see that Batman had to crash land the plane, but obviously he's okay because he's Batman. And we also see that Lois Lane is confronting Lex Luthor about the kryptonite asteroid that's headed to the planet and why he blames Superman for it. I mean, you don't even have to be a comic book reader to know that the one thing that can hurt Superman is kryptonite. Now, if you're a comic book reader, you also know that he doesn't do well with magic either, but that's besides the point. Why would he send something to destroy the planet that could also destroy him too? So on the next page, we see that Superman's done playing with Silver Banshee and pretty much grabs her and is taking her up into the atmosphere. So while Superman is doing that, Batman's on the ground dealing with the sub-temperature villains. I said villains with an S, like all of them, not just Mr. Freeze, but Captain Cold and Killer Frost. And he goes to Superman and he's like, hey, I need you to bring the heat. So Superman has Banshee. Obviously, she's knocked out because they're high up in the atmosphere. Superman's like, all right, I need you to step to your left about 3 feet. And Batman's being encased in ice. He just yells, now. And all of a sudden, all you see is all this heat vision comes down in spurts, and he hits all the cold villains. It was a pretty funny scene. So Superman comes down and goes to Batman. It's like, are you okay? The first thing out of Batman's mouth is, the jet was new, so I'm kind of annoyed about that. And Superman goes, well, I guess we'll just add that to the list of things to talk to President Luthor about. And Superman's like, what are we going to do about Banshee? And Batman puts a device on her throat and goes, if she tries to use a sonic scream, it'll deflect back at her. So then we see these two shadowy figures in the background, and they're huge. And then we turn the page and Superman gets hit with a heat beam. We see it's Mongol, and then the other shadowy figure is Solomon Grundy, and he jumps on Batman quick and takes off his utility belt. So Mongol's giving the business to Superman, which is nothing new. I mean, Mongol's a beast.
Certified. Put a stamp on him.
But typically when Mongol is fighting you, he's normally talking to you as he beats you down, and this time Mongol ain't saying a word. So it's the exact opposite with Solomon Grundy. Typically he doesn't say much. That's the poem that's about him, you know, born on a Monday, dead on a Tuesday. I really don't know how it goes. Now he just can't shut up. Like, he's just talking all kind of shit to Batman, like, I can't believe I lose to you all the time, you're just a frail human. And then he's dunked his head in the water and he was like, see, I'm just going to hold you here until you stop breathing. So Superman pretty much catches Mongol's fist, and he's pretty much done playing with him now. He got beat up enough. And Batman looks like he's dead. Solomon Grundy takes him and he just can't help himself. He goes, I wonder what you look like underneath this cowl. Obviously, we all know Batman has contingency plans, and as soon as he goes to lift it, this smoke comes out of it. So as soon as the smoke hits Solomon Grundy, his speech pattern changes and it starts to slow down, and Batman picks up on it, and then he starts just putting it on Solomon Grundy. I mean, just beats him down. But then he gets kicked in the back of the leg, and then we see is Lady Sheba. Now, for those who don't know, Lady Sheba is considered pound for pound best fighter in the world. She's like a female Floyd Mayweather. But while that's going on, we see Superman just giving the business to Mongol now. I mean, he headbutts him, so like he smacked him, and then he just gave him an uppercut because he's just tired of Luthor's games. So it switches back to Lady Sheba and Batman, and Lady Sheba obviously is giving Batman the business because, like we said before, Lady Sheba's a beast.
Certified. put a stamp on him.
And Batman, while he's fighting her, he's thinking to himself, like, I always wondered who would win in a straight up fight between me and Lady Sheba. He also thinks back when Lady Sheba beat the brakes off Selena Kyle. I mean, beat the hell out of her. And then Batman's demeanor just changes, and he stops one of the Lady Sheba's punches, and he looks at her and goes, "It's over, Sheba," and knocks the hell out of her. So Batman's checking out Lady Sheba, and he's thinking to himself, Mongol, Solomon Grundy, and Shiva aren't money hungry. They're not motivated by money, so why are they coming after him? And as soon as Superman gets to Batman, he gets grabbed by this huge shadowy hand, and it's Nightshade. And her power is actually starting to drain the powers of Superman. So Batman switches his cowl to night vision because he knows somebody's mind controlling these villains, and he's trying to look for them in the dark. And Superman goes, "Look up." And Batman looks up and he sees this Gorilla Grodd. And Batman's like, "How'd you know?" Superman goes, "I thought the same thing. Somebody's mind controlling these villains, and using my super hearing, a gorilla's heartbeat is unique." And Batman's like, "You cease to amaze me." And he throws up a batarang that has a rope around it, and he throws it to Superman, and he's like, "Pull." And Superman's like, "Well, get this girl off me." And Batman takes a batarang, hits her and knocks her out. Superman pulls down Gorilla Grodd and knocks him out with a one punch. So then Superman goes to Batman and he's like, "You know we're surrounded, right?" And Batman's like, "We can take him." And Superman's like, "You always think we could take him." And Batman goes, "Yes, I do." And Superman's like, "Well, let's do it." And then you turn the page and you see it's all of the DC villains. I mean, Giganta's there, Black Manta, King Shark, Brimstone, Solomon Grundy, Captain Cold. They're all there, and they start to fight him. And then all of a sudden you see like a heart-like construct come out of nowhere. You see a blue fist come out of nowhere. You see fire kind of rain down, and then you turn the page and it's Captain Atom with Green Lantern, John Stewart, Black Lightning, Katana, Starfire, Major Force, Power Girl with the boob window. And Superman goes, "I want to thank you, Captain." And Captain Atom goes, "This is not a rescue. We're here to take you in." So in this issue, they fought just about every villain. And the next issue, they're going to start fighting some of the heroes. If you made it all the way to this point in the video, I just want to thank you. You're a real one. It seems like you're enjoying what we do here. So why don't you just do what comes natural if you haven't already?